Look, I don't know why it took so long to start the Stormlight Archive, but I'm enjoying it immensely. It's going to be a pretty heavy Stormlight Sanderson September. I'm also going to read some other stuff, so let's go ahead and talk about it. What's good, BookTube? Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's Theo, Rekindled Reader. Want to talk to you a little bit about my September reads. I am reading right now Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive, The Way of Kings, Book 1 in the Stormlight Archive. I'm going to try to keep up with these maybe one a month until December for the release of Wind and Truth, Book 5, that completes the first arc in this overarching 10-book series that is to be. So, as it stands, I'm about a third of the way through this book, and I'm enjoying it immensely. I have no idea why I took so long to get to it, but you know what? I'm taking my time with it. I'm enjoying it. I was reading this alongside Mike Shackle's We Are the Dead. That is a much shorter book. I blew through that one, enjoyed it very, very much. In fact, I recorded a dedicated review that I'll put up on the channel at some point pretty soon. But for now, I'm basically reading only this. Well, that's not true. I lied. I'll tell you what else I'm reading in a bit. But I'm prioritizing this absolutely. Once I'm finished that is a carryover from August, of course, because it's a fatty. I'm going to pretty much start right away with another priority, and that is Words of Radiance. This is book 2 in the Stormlight Archive. I've had this on my shelf for a long time. I regret not starting the Stormlight Archive earlier, and now I'm scrambling to catch up before the release of Wind and Truth. But you know what? It's doable. I got some, not extra time, but I definitely have good reading time planned. I got some vacations and stuff coming up. So I got some time to read, and I don't see why I can't read one of these a month. Words of Radiance, I hear, is among the best. Oathbringer, also a banger. For people that have read the Stormlight Archive, they say that these few books, books 2 and 3, are really, really good, like some of their favorites. So I'm excited to finally get into this one. This is going to be priority number 1 in the month of September. I cannot wait. What I'm reading right now, concurrent to Stormlight, but I'm sort of taking my time with it, even though it's quick, is this book here. This was actually an arc sent to me by the publisher, a division of, I think, HarperCollins. It's called We Came to Welcome You by Vincent Tirado. And it is, well, it's marketed as a suburban horror novel. So this is reminiscent of the movie Get Out, Jordan Peele's movie Get Out. I'll tell you a little bit what it's about. Basically, it's a same-sex couple. These two women move into this new neighborhood that is a little bit too cookie cutter, a little bit too good to be true. And basically, they get visited very quickly by 3 representatives of this homeowners association. And they are being recruited. They are being thrown kind of a welcome party. And, this couple is new to the neighborhood. They don't really want to be part of this, but they're trying to play nice, be the nice neighbors. But amongst everything that's happening, they're noticing that the neighbors are a little bit creepy. They're sort of like, they're acting funny. The children aren't acting quite naturally. People are in each other's business a little bit. People are staring at each other through the windows. And things in the house are also not quite what they seem. Things are happening, and inexplicable things at certain points. So the characters are interesting so far. One of them is a little bit hard to read. She's kind of annoying, kind of whiny. We'll see. This is an arc. It comes out September 3rd. And, I am in the mood for something like this, given it's September, given we are approaching fall. And I get that vibe. I like the horror vibe, the thriller vibe in fall around Halloween. I like those kind of books. So I was kind of itching for something like this. And thanks to the publisher for sending it to me. I'm hoping to make my way through it. I'm about 50, maybe 60 pages in, and it's only 350 pages. So I'm going to try to balance that out. It's quite a good compliment to Stormlight. I can just bang out this quick little thriller, get those vibes in between the epic fantasy, long, slow burn type of thing that is The Way of Kings as it stands right now. So I'm balancing this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that one, when I'm going to finish it, but we will see. As I said, Words of Radiance is the absolute priority. However, I did mention earlier in the video that I finished We Are the Dead, enjoyed it a lot. I did a dedicated review for it. It's going to be coming out on the channel eventually. So I would like to get to book number 2, Fool's Hope in the Last War Trilogy by Mike Shackle. I need to know what happens. That book was a banger. It fell a little short on a couple points, so I gave it a 4. It's probably a 4.5. I may or may not revise that review on Goodreads, but it was an absolute banger. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to continuing the story and figuring out what happens after the events of book 1. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but shit goes down, and you're left wondering where people landed and what's going to happen and how things are going to evolve after this huge enemy invasion that is being resisted by the people in this country that got attacked. So super, super cool story so far. Another book that I may or may, if you know me, you know that I don't like to stick to strict TBRs. I'm more of a mood reader, more of a might be read, pick up a couple books, see how they feel. This one is one that I ended up buying recently on the recommendation by a friend of mine. It's called The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. And I don't really know much about this. Maybe I will read to you what this is supposed to be about. Let's see. It says, 8 ordinary people, 1 extraordinary choice. It seems like any other day. You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and head out. But today, when you open your front door, waiting for you is a small wooden box. This box holds your fate, the exact number of years you will live. From suburban doorsteps to desert tents, every person on every continent receives the same box. In an instant, the world is thrust into a collective frenzy. Where do these boxes come from? What do they mean? Is there truth to what they promise? As society comes together and pulls apart, everyone faces the same shocking choice. Do they wish to know how long they'll live? And if so, what will they do with that knowledge? The Measure charts the dawn of this new world through an unforgettable cast of characters whose decisions and fates interweave with one another. Best friends whose dreams are forever entwined, pen pals finding refuge in the unknown, a couple who thought they didn't have to rush, a doctor who cannot save himself, and a politician whose box becomes the powder keg that ultimately changes everything. Enchanting, deeply uplifting, The Measure is a sweeping, ambitious, invigorating story about family, friendship, hope, and destiny that encourages us to live life to the fullest. I don't really know. I don't know what to think. It sounds pretty cool. To be honest, I like thought-provoking, existential, interesting, idea-based books, and apparently that's what this is. A friend of mine really recommended it to me. She said she was pretty moved by it. Got her thinking. And again, if I want something a little bit easier to digest, a little bit something smaller, something I can bounce in between with the larger, epic, grand scope fantasy books that I am no doubt going to be prioritizing until December, that is one of them. So pretty much I'm going to be choosing between all of these. Again, I am absolutely prioritizing Stormlight, and I deeply regret not starting it sooner. I was making my way through different parts of the Cosmere, getting enough of a foundation in Sanderson's world and his writing to jump into Stormlight and be able to prioritize it. I don't want to get burnt out, but I'm going to try and bang them out back to back and take my time with it. Again, the way I'm not going to get burnt out is by sliding little things like this in between. So tell me in the comments, what are you guys reading? Are you guys gearing up for Wind and Truth in December? Let me know what you guys are reading. Are you guys excited to be reading Stormlight alongside with me? Is it your first time reading Stormlight, or are you rereading it with a bunch of people that are doing that right now, gearing up for Sanderson's release? Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I'll let you guys know what I'm up to sooner than later, and I will have my wrap up for last month out as soon as possible. I'll catch you all in the next video.